Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Moved My Camera Out of the Way. This is called again Dweebz in Japanese. This is episode 28. I'm one of your hosts, Khalil.
I'm one of your hosts,
And
Patrick.
there he is. I thought you were gone for a second.
I was gone for a minute. I was in the void.
It was so scary.
I was grabbing some nether right. Whatever it's called.
Right? That stuff's pretty rare. You're going to be digging for a while.
Nether rack. No. What's the thing? I don't even know.
I thought that was it.
The crystals
like
or whatever?
The diamond or whatever. Yeah.
Nether,
the diamond of the nether.
Yeah.
This is a Minecraft podcast, guys.
Yes.
All right. So we just finished watching episode 20 of Darker Than Black. So let's do a quick little recap of that. The second part of the cultist episode. I don't exactly really know what happened. This second part was a little more like expository, kind of story driven.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on it?
I think that all the episodes, or at least especially in the later half, are expository, story driven. But the cult thing is just so weird. Like, it's so random to me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure where it fits in everything other than that girl.
And it hasn't ended yet, right? Well, they found her.
They did, but then they lost her. Like, they both died, the old lady and Kyoko or something. Was that her name?
Shioko. And the old lady died?
I thought so. Because she just stopped talking, suddenly.
Well, then she got young, though.
Yeah, I think that was just her using her power one more time. Which I don't really
sense.
know what it was.
That makes sense, yeah. I didn't catch that.
So confused.
I was trying to focus really hard on what she was saying, which was like about her, yeah. Because she was saying something like that, though. She's like, this is a heavy type guy. It's like, I can only do this, blah, blah, blah. I was using, humans are like, she was saying like humans are great, but, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're different than contractors because, those contractors. Yeah. But, she was also saying that, I think she was saying that humans use as contractors like tools, kind of like something like that. So I decided to use humans as like tools, and the way to do that was through religion or something like that. She was saying something about like that. The reason I did this was because of religion.
I see. I don't know exactly what she did either.
I have no idea. I don't really understand.
What was the purpose of that cult?
Well, they were against contractors, right? But it was funny because the leader was a contractor, and then like
So I guess the others were just humans.
The other people were just humans.
All using. Okay.
Minus a couple of people who were like, especially Shioko, which was sort of like her tool, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least from what I understand, yeah, like the leaders were all. It was just weird. It reminds me of like in Legend of Korra. The Amon is actually like a bender.
Oh yeah.
He's like a water bender, but like a crazy blood bender or whatever.
But he was leading like the anti.
But he was leading the anti-bender movement.
It is a lot like that.
Yeah, it's just like politicians saying they're for the people. No, I'm just kidding.
As in they're reptilians.
Yeah. No, just Mark Zuckerberg. Just the Zuck.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But anyways, in the episode, so she's revealed as being actually like old, and so so maybe that's what was happening, is that she is actually like an old woman, but she just feigns, like she just puts on the appearance, like the mask of being younger, but she's actually old. Yeah,
young.
Exactly. And so that would be really weird if you could just do that to like the old cartoons, where you could just flex a muscle and all of a sudden you get like huge arms. But But it reminds. Sorry, I just got distracted because I was thinking of the SpongeBob episode where he has like
Oh
inflatable
no, anchor arms.
anchor arms. Yeah. Dude, I love that
Man.
episode. Anyways, back to the episode that we just watched. So it ends with Shioko dying. She kills herself. I think it's because she feels like, he was freaked out by her. Right?
Yeah.
But she was also like part of the cult, and I think that she felt that she was like a tool being used.
I see. So just looking for a way out, kind of thing.
She was looking for a way out to solve the issue because he was about to kill her. Like, hey, you're a problem. You're involved with a lot of this, and so you're killing a bunch of people. And so
and he was like, run away. I thought he said together, but I guess I don't.
He did. So. He did say together.
He did.
Yeah, Freddy did. It's like both of us. Those conversations are really easy for me to understand because they're the music is quiet.
Oh yeah,
and like they're talking to each other, and it's more of like a conversation versus just
There's
like expository, like talking. It's kind of like what is, and they're using a bunch of like fancy.
It's words. Different types of. It's like a different type of speech because it's not really too. Like, it's weird. It's more like you're reciting something rather than.
Yeah, it feels like some narrator, but you're the character. That's sort of the expository part of it, which is not my favorite type of storytelling, but it's sometimes needed. So,
it is everywhere too.
Moving on, very interesting episode. But I'm curious to see. So she died apparently, right? The old woman died. So that cult story subplot was sort of pointless. Kind of.
It seems like it, yeah. Unless it comes back later, but
hopefully the characters stick around because that was like interesting, but it was only 2 or 3 episodes long. So, I guess we learned more about Juan.
Yeah, and we learned his name too.
I think that's his name. I need to go look it up and make sure. But that's what Hay said to him. He said Juan something something something. And then Kyopi is what Shioko was calling him, which I think is just some like nickname, some pet name basically. Anyways, moving on to the Wall of Shame words. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Go ahead and share my screen. We got Khalil on deck.
We got me.
1 second. Let me start the timer here. Sorry.
Whoa. No, the immersion's broken.
What'd you say?
The immersion, it's broken.
All right. Whoa. Something's going on here. Whoa. There we go. Back to the list. Here we go.
There we go. All right. So I have one quite shameful word.
One.
Just east. I actually am. I'm assuming it's the Higashi reading that is telling me I'm getting wrong and not the toll.
You have an interesting reading versus meaning percentage. 75 and 75.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time, 3/4 of the time, but then all of a sudden you're just like, I forget.
Yeah, it was just gone. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
Is it because of maybe the time? Like you spent a couple of days off, took a couple days off, and you just don't know anything anymore?
Well, sometimes it feels like that. Like during the trip, which if you guys notice, I was not here last week. I was on a trip. It was kind of hard to do that. Like try to put the brain power into focusing on that with
when
everything else going on.
Dead tired.
Yeah, that too.
from what?
Like I tried doing some on my glorious 24-hour car ride back, and that was really hard. I did not feel like I made any progress then.
I could just see you listening to like, I don't know, like pumping up the car with some heavy 90s rap, and then like windows down, just doing Wanikani. Just like winding your hair.
Oh man.
I would do that.
But that's too distracting. But yeah, East. It's part of Tokyo?
Yes, Tokyo is technically in the east if you are using the Western perspective. Yes.
Whoa.
Well,
it's part of the word, right?
Yes, it's the same exact
Tokyo.
thing. Yeah,
East
that's
capital,
the
like
kunyomi. That's the word. Yeah.
We'll say something real quick that's weird about this. Some of the words that are like Higashiguchi, Ichi, I think that is like the east exit. It's kind of interesting how it's like actually 2 words that make up a word, but there's still 2 words. So you pronounce, you know what I mean?
No.
Like instead of saying like Toguchi or something, or
Toguchi.
it's like Higashi. Like,
Higashi-guchi?
it's
Like
the
the
word.
kunyomi
Yeah.
readings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those trip me up sometimes.
Well, you can think about it as like east exit versus like.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could probably say Toko. It's probably not wrong. Just the more common one is, the east exit, like Higashi no guchi, like the eastern exit, right? So Higashi no guchi, and then it turns into Higashi guchi. Like when time passes, people just don't want to say that. Yeah.
All right. My next one. It seems like I get the. What is this? It's reading reading.
It's
I get
meaning
the meaning
and then
right.
reading. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the meaning 100% right. This is Nageru, and I only remember because I'm on the spot now. So now it just came back to me.
Pressure.
But for some reason, so the mnemonic tells you to remember nachos, and I for some reason remember I remember tacos instead. So I read it as a tageru. So that's why I get that wrong occasionally.
Yeah,
but it's not
tacos.
that.
Oh, sorry, nachos. Right, nachos and tacos are very similar, aren't they?
They are, but you're throwing nachos.
Yeah, nachos are very American. So think about your American roots.
My American roots, yeah. Taxes.
Patriotism.
Yeah, patriotism. All right. What do you got, Patrick?
My blood is flowing with the blood of bald eagles. I don't know. All right, so mine are really quickly here. Sprout, and then I have that at 100%. And the meaning, the reading is a little harder for me. It's whole, but I just keep forgetting because I recently learned this, so I don't know. I keep forgetting that, the top one is the grass or like the plant, the small little plant, but I think of grass. And then the bottom is bright. And so it sprouts when it's bright outside type of thing. When it's bright out, then it will sprout. And then home is like the mnemonic. And so when you're inside your home and you're trying to plant something, it needs to be bright in order for it to like grow. Anyways, the second one is kagayaku. Is still there forever, and I think that Khalil has actually learned this word now too. So when you see that monikani,
word, dude.
the bright, or I forget the name of that radical. It's like basically military camp. Military camp.
Oh, really?
Military something like
car
that.
with a hat.
Car with a hat. Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
All right, moving on. Favorite Japanese words. You got a lot here. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit, if I can.
You should be able to fit. Yeah. There we go.
Oh no, you only have a couple. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna add a couple from the show, but incidentally, they're the ones some of the words you explained. So I was like, oh, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
When we were watching.
The first one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like in my head, I was like, that's a word, and then you're like, oh, that means this. So I was like, what?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's very useful, but it's kind of funny. It was just so happened to be what I also latched onto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway, the first word is kumamushi. I don't remember where I found this.
I don't know what that means.
I was watching, but it's a water bear, like a tardigrade, a little animal.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's very cool.
It's a bear bug?
Yeah. But man, I wish I could remember where I heard that from, because it's not like...
Science show. Using the auto-translate captions on YouTube.
Oh, that's a good way to learn right there. But yeah, it's a cool word. Kumamushi. I haven't learned the kanji for kuma yet, but...
I bet if I said that to Judy, she wouldn't know what that is. And then I'll say, look it up online. She's like, ew. I'll do that after the podcast.
Oh, that's going to be fun. The next word is kaki. So it's like a fire, like an actual fire, right? Like fire.
Kaki.
I saw it. I'll give you the context. I saw it in a like a warning sign.
Oh.
I thought it meant flammable, but when I looked it up, like, because it was like it looked like dry. I think it was a picture I was looking at. I don't remember again where, but it was like a dry field, and then that sign was there. It had more than that, but that was like the main highlight of the sign was that.
Fire, force of fire, trace of fire. Kaki Genkin. Yeah, Kaki Genkin is what you're saying. It's like the fire ban. Like, so Genkin is like a ban or a prohibition, like forbiddance. So Kaki, again, you said fire.
Oh, I must have missed some stuff then.
So Kaji is the way, like the kind of normal colloquial way to say fire, as in like a dangerous fire. Kaji.
Okay.
Kaji. Yeah, Kaki. I can see that showing up. Yeah, the first kanji everybody knows, right? It's one of the first kanjis you learn.
Fire.
And then the last one being like force or air or feeling, mood.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like energy.
It means a lot of things. I think that force is probably a good one. Spirit.
Oh yeah.
Force. So the spirit and force of the fire is just a fire.
All right. Next one.
Hunwari.
I don't think there's kanji for it. Hunwari.
I think I've heard this before, but I don't know what it means.
According to the dictionary, it means like gently, fluffily, airily. So kind of like, like, ooh.
Oh, did we learn that through reading or something? Did that show up through reading?
It might have been in.
I don't remember this.
Pasteru Kazoku, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I heard it from something. I was reading or watching something.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that showed up actually last podcast when we were reading. Or not when I was reading by myself. All alone. No one to deride me. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice little word.
Hunwari. I do think it was from Pasteru Kazoku. Yes. Okay, some words really quickly here. We've got a minute. Muzu muzu. Muzu muzu means itchy. Nokan. This is from I was talking to Judy about Nokan because it's a weird one, and she doesn't use it, but it was in the manga, the Pasteru Kazoku manga that we're reading, the webcomic, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And it means doesn't count. Like she knows what it means in context, but
like
it means doesn't count. It's like Nihongo Eigo, which is Japanese English. It's kind of odd.
Oh.
But I think she was talking
like no
about.
Count?
Yeah, I think she was talking about the sister. The sister's friend was telling her like, "Hey, you don't have any money, so how are you going to go to the other old bookstore?" So I don't know. In context, it makes sense, but it's just kind of weird used by itself. Anyways, next one. This one is jinzo, which is kidney. This is it's really hard for me to remember for some reason. I guess I just don't say kidney a lot enough. Perhaps maybe I need to say kidney more. Kidneys, jinzo, or the bee's knees. The next one is kansu, which is kan is like volume of a story of a book, and su is number, right? So kansu. Apparently here it says function. I'm sorry. This is not right. This is not the right kanji. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it is the right kanji. Kansu. That is not the right kanji. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I totally screwed that up. Yes,
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Kansu. This one. Oh no.
Oh, everything's ruined.
So, right, kan is like scroll.
Oh, okay.
Then the next one's a count. So the scroll count is basically the book, the volume count. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Next one is doki, which is motivation or motive. Not motivation as in like motivated to. It means motive, like the motive for doing something. What is the perp's motive type of thing? Suspect's motive. Makanao is to supply, and this is something that the one was saying. He was saying that something like, "Hey, let's go to the rendezvous point, and then they could supply us," or whatever. I forgot what he said, but he said "makanao," and
so to supply.
It means to supply. Let's go ahead and scroll down here a little bit.
Did you have
goods to give board,
have
meals,
shellfish?
To have shellfish. Oh, you're talking about the
Have some
radicals?
shell-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the
Shellfish
radical.
and have. Yeah. To have shellfish,
I guess you
to have a
supply.
supply of shellfish, I think is the Kemari Kani. All right, moving on. De is I don't know if we've already done this grammar lesson. I don't think we have. But just in case, let's go over it again. So de is, the way I think of it is basically I sort of like how they describe this here, but I think of it as a tool marker. Like where or how. I think that's what they said too. Particle de helps
like
specify
means
where
of.
or how an activity or an event takes place. Exactly, like means of. And so I think of it as like sort of a tool marker or a means of marker, right? Or by way of marker. It's just weird when you translate it to English, but it makes a lot more sense when you put examples.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm sure you feel like you said you agree the same way. It's really intuitive once you hear a couple examples. It's like Wani ga kani ni pool de kiss shita. This is a weird sentence, but as you can see here, an alligator kissed a crab in the pool. So pool de, so it's not actually using the pool to kiss them, but that's sort of the nuance. Like they're not saying that it's in the pool in English, but the nuance is that they were kissing in the pool, but used by way of the pool. It's not. Yeah, I would go ahead and read this article to like.
Could you
understand it?
Could you, in that specific example, could you swap out the de for ni if you wanted to like emphasize that it was in the pool?
Yeah. So let me. Right. So exactly. There's sort of an emphasis. What do you want to emphasize? So wani ga kani ni pool ni. Wani ga kani ni pool de. No, you couldn't say that because you would have two knees there. So wani ga kani ni pool ni. You can say pool no naka de.
So what is that?
Pool no naka ni. You don't really say it. I think it's basically just like the this is sort of an adverb, I think, right? When you're using de, it's like by way of. So the pool, it can mean place again, right? Like where, but it can also mean how. Because you're not actually using the pool to do the kissing. It's just like where it happens. Ni is more of like a marker of where you want to go, or like the objective, right?
Gotcha.
So it doesn't mean it's sort of confusing because you can say puru no naka ni, but the nuance after that is like, oh, there's something in there, literally in there, or you're going to it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of again, we need more examples here to sort of explain this further. 私は貧しい家庭で育ちました。So 貧しい is again like poor, destitute. 私は貧しい家庭で育ちました。育ちました is like grew up. 育つ and 家庭 is like household or home. And residence kind of thing. Mazui again is poor. So there's another example of like where or how. Insta de, yeah, right, on Instagram. With Instagram. Insta is how Japanese people say Instagram. Yeah, by means of, so hasami de, again, this is like the tool thing, right? So it's really just where or how, like by the tool being used or where. So the where part is confusing for people because of ni, and how ni is what you use for if you want to say you want to go somewhere, right? Or something is inside of something, then you use ni. But if you're using how something is taking place, like there's an action taking place at this location, then you use de.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
That's
good to know.
Toho de, so that's like on foot or walking. Toho de ikimasu, that's a really like formal way to say that. The more formal way to say that is like the nuance there though, is like I'm gonna go by foot. So toho de, so that makes sense to me. You can also say aruki de. That's kind of It's more of like a colloquial way. This is probably the more like adult way to say that. More like mature, sophisticated way to say that. But arukide is like walking.
Mm-hmm.
あそこまで歩きで行く。歩きに行く it means like you're going on a walk, right? If you say ni, you're going on a walk. That's the nuance of it. If you're saying de, it means you're going to get there by walking.
Okay.
So toho is just a nicer, better way to say that. Yeah, taxi de, bus de, densha de. 日本語で話しましょう. That's another way to say. In Japanese is how you say that in English, but in reality it's like by Japanese. By means of Japanese, let's talk. So, 英語で, like if you're in a foreign country, especially if you're in Japan, if you're in Japan or somewhere that speaks Japanese, only Japan, if you want to speak to someone in English, you want to like say, hey, I don't speak good Japanese, you'd say like, 英語で 話しても大丈夫ですか is like maybe how you'd ask that, or you say 英語で話しましょう if you know that person speaks English. So another one, 人を見かけで判断するな again is like it's like the negative command form. So you're saying don't do that. So 判断するな 判断 is judge. And 人を見かけ is like appearance. Somebody's appearance. 人を見かけ is like 見かけ is like it's kind of weird. That's a hard one to explain, but kakeru is like to hang or to put on top of. So and then kakeru is like there's so many different meanings of kakeru. That's one of the most weird words to get a hang of, but once you get the hang of it, it makes a lot of sense. But mikakeru is sort of like you're looking at somebody and you're hanging your like gaze, I guess, on them. So don't think too hard about it. But mikake, hito mikake is sort of like you're looking at somebody, and then that's turning into a noun. De again, I don't like this example that much because it's hard for beginners. Go down a little bit. この小説は5つの章で I think that's 章 I forget actually what the reading is. This is yeah 章。この小説は5つの章で構成されてる。So 構成 is like to be the structure. And then when it's used for suru, this is another hard example. But again, just don't worry about all the vocabulary in between. 5つ you should be able to read though. It's just 5 things, right? Show is chapter. So, this novel is with 5 chapters, it is made up of or like composed of, right? Structure is what I was saying. Okay. Organization. So another hard example which I don't like. This one's easier. このテーブルは木でできてる。So another way you say this, you could say like このテーブルは木で作られてる。作られてる is a intransitive whatever like a passive way just to say the fact of being. It was made. So if you say kide, how, where, in this case, how was it made? With
tree.
With wood. Yes, with the tree wood. But again, like in Japanese, if you say wood, it's just ki. It's just tree. It's the same thing.
Interesting.
So you don't have to say wood. You can say like mokuzai, which is like way too detailed. You don't need to say like this table was made of. In English we say wood, but you could say like the production of wood material from a tree, which is literally what mokuzai means. So people just say ki. Yeah, dekiteru it means to have been able to do, right? Dekiru, it's like can do, right? Dekiteru is what they say for things that were made of. That's another one that's kind of hard to explain in English, but it's pretty intuitive when you get the hang of it because you hear it all the time. Like you say, oh, this thing is, これでできてる. So I can say, for example, I'm going to make muffins. I want to make muffins, right? So I'll say muffin, 小麦粉でマフィンをできる or 小麦粉でマフィンができてる so with flour I made the muffins basically. I was able to make the muffins. But you don't need to say like make or anything. You can just say dekiru. That's another. I'm not doing a grammar lesson on that or doing a grammar lesson on de. This is why I don't really like these examples too much. But I was
because they're like multiple grammar lessons.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know. So this is an easy one. Hey, スポーツで好きなのはサッカーだよ. So this is also category. Yeah. Like another way to say this too is では. Yeah, so you sports de wa is a more like formal way to say that, but in a more casual conversation, you don't need to add the wa part. You can say just sports de 好きなのはサッカーだよ. So again, the no wa thing, we learned this a couple weeks ago, but 好きなのは is you're saying of the things that I like. 好きなのは is like the thing that I like. Soccer だよ, it's soccer. And then the first part is the category, right? So sports de. So another way to say that is, no naka de. Yeah, sports no naka de, among all sports. Yeah, this is also really common. Like, 食べ物では甘い系がいつも食べちゃってる. So, 食べ物では is like, or 食べ物で甘い系がいつも食べちゃってる is like 甘い系 is the sweets basically. And 食べ物では is, or 食べ物で is of the food, of all food, I tend to eat sweet things. And 食べちゃう is like 食べてしまう, which is like a bad, like sort of a mistake. Shimao is to do something by mistake or unintentionally, or you're not wanting to, it just happens because whatever reason.
Okay.
I think we're getting it. This is the last one here. Fuji-san は日本の山で一番高い山だ. That makes sense, right? So this is a category again. Fuji-san は日本の山で, so of the Japanese mountains, de, so this is the category. Again, it's intuitive to me at least because it's as a category as well, because it's saying like by means of, like how, and then also where. It sort of fits in the middle of there. It's not like a physical location. It's saying like of the subject of the sentence, like this is where it fits. So it's not me, because that's like the goal or the direction. It's more of just stating a fact. So I mean, this article is really helpful if you go read all the examples. Just skip the examples that you don't understand. But listen for it also in conversation. Again, listening. Just listen for de and how it's used. It becomes a lot more intuitive. It becomes a little bit more tricky when you're trying to explain it in English. I think this article does a pretty good job. I just think the example sentences are probably more confusing than they are helpful. Some of them.
In terms of learning, yeah.
Because you have to learn all the other words and all the other grammar bits. It's not really isolating just the de part. So this one's a simple sentence, but the kanji is a little harder for some people probably.
I haven't seen
Fuji-san, right? Fuji-san は日本の山で一番高い山だ. So this is stating a fact. Hey, Mount Fuji, out of all of the Japanese mountains, is the tallest one.
Why do you have to add the Yamada afterwards?
You don't have to. You can just say 富士山は日本の山で一番高い.
Okay.
You can say that too. But they're just clarifying even more. They're saying 富士山は日本の山で一番高い山だ. It's like the biggest mountain. So out of all of the mountains in Japan, Mount Fuji mountain. Is the tallest mountain. And again, it's the same in English. You can say like out of all the mountains in Japan, Mount Fuji is the tallest.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Fuji is the tallest mountain. It's the same exact thing. It's just like a different way to say it.
Yeah.
You're just like
Okay.
even more clarifying. Yeah. トマトは10個で100円です。So again, 10個で this is a counter, right? So the quantities and measurements.
Oh.
トマトは so tomatoes. 10個 is like 10 small things. So 10 small tomatoes is 100 yen. Right? 10 for 100 yen. That's a weird. I mean, I guess we say that in English, but for 10 tomatoes, 10個で for 10 small tomatoes, which again, it doesn't mean that the tomatoes are small because this is not like an adjective. It's more of just like saying it's just a counter, right? So anything is basically smaller than your head. You'll say probably coal for. You wouldn't say something like a big beach ball or whatever is coal. You probably wouldn't say that. You'd say like maybe you would. I don't know, but it's not really a hard and fast rule. It's just for like small things.
Okay.
Cool. So 10個で100円です. So for 10 of them, it's 100 yen. Yeah, kilo de is for speed, right? 2人で住んでます. You can also say 2人は住んでます or 2人が住んでる, right? But 2人で, the nuance here though is 2人で住んでます is like the two of the nuance here is that we're living together and that's like intentional, right? There's 2人で住んでる. Like there are two people living there intentionally. I want to see how they explain it. It draws the lines around the people who participate in the example. Yeah, it's like again, it's sort of describing how this is occurring. This in the verb being sunderu, like how you know we're living here. The two of us is sort of the nuance there. Versus like two people are living there.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's 2人は住んでる. 2人が住んでる is probably what you'd say. But that's not that. You're literally saying two people are living there. Or two people are living, dwelling somewhere. But when you say 2人で住んでる, you're talking probably from either somebody you're talking about or you. Depends on what the subject is. But you're saying the two of them are living together. Like, somewhere. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, this is another easy example to understand. Thank you. 全員で考えました. Like 全員 is everybody, right? All members, and then で. So all of us together, because で means like how. So all of us, with all of us, we thought.
Okay, that is a nice simple one.
Yeah. Okay, I spoke too long about this. Let's move on. But de is very useful. Keep listening for it. Use all the time. And I haven't really thought about this too much until picking this grammar particle because it is sort of again, everything's like sort of touch and feel it with any language learning. You just have to hear it a lot and then sort of grasp it. Eventually, it becomes a little bit more intuitive. But this one I hope makes sense. It's usually just like I actually like how they explained it. How an activity, where or how an activity takes or event takes place. Think of like a tool or like where the event is something is happening. But the focus is on the verb, right? Like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then de is just like how that is happening or where that is happening. And it can also mean again a category or something. So yeah, moving on to Pasteru Kazoku. All right. So Khalil, you were gone, but I read up until here. At least I think I did.
Wait.
Yeah. I read the old bookstore part. So I'm reading the second half now.
Did
you get it? Let me know when you got it. And we'll stop here because we're running out of time.
With your screen.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is where we left off of. This is the old bookstore. I encourage you, Khalil, to go read it because it's interesting. It's funny.
Okay.
So, all right. Let's start with the next one. And this is interesting because this is like, I don't know if this is all tied together, but お仕事のイメージ。もっと本買いたいし、アルバイトしようかな。 So this is connected. So she's talking about the books, right? もっと本買いたいし、アルバイトしようかな。So she's talking about wanting to buy more books. あ、いいんじゃね。でも前に接客業とかできるのか。いらっしゃいませ。接客 I think it's 接客業 is like basically connecting to guests, and then gyo is like business. So, you know, it's the like public facing business. I can't do it. Like 接客業, like Starbucks or something like that.
Oh,
I can do it. I just don't want to. I actually worked as the resident foreigner at a English cafe bar, which I like the bar part, but I didn't like the cafe part as much. At least doing it, I liked everybody. I liked the people who owned the business; they were great. But and then my coworkers are great. But working there was like really stressful because, as much as it may seem like I like talking, it's actually because I'm more uncomfortable with like being in front of a bunch of people and having to continue the conversation is like really hard for me.
It's all in a different language too. That just adds another layer.
Because the guests are really nervous, right? They're really nervous because they're trying to speak English, and
it was in English.
It's in English, yeah. So they were Japanese, and I was the resident foreigner speaking English to them and like helping them out. And so
I see.
That was hard for me because I'd have to like encourage them to have a conversation, and there'd be like 10 people sitting around me, and I'm just standing there, and like I would have to make coffee at the same time too, like prepare coffee, not actually make coffee. And I'm terrible at multitasking, especially when I'm talking. Everyone who knows me knows that.
It's understandable.
And so like even something is just pressing a button on the machine, like getting the right thing that they ordered is hard for me. So I would suck at a cafe. But
it's okay, I would too.
Anyways, moving on back to the story. Hey. So, hey, いらっしゃい。Hey, いらっしゃい。いらっしゃい。Hey, いらっしゃい、いらっしゃい。今日はサンマが安いよ、奥さん。持ってけ、泥棒。持ってけ、泥棒。I don't know what 泥棒. Oh, 泥棒 is like,泥棒 is, 持ってけ、泥棒. Downboard is, cardboard box. So 泥棒 actually means like to rob. So 持ってけ、泥棒. I don't know what that means. どうや、そういう系やるのか？そういう系やるの？ What is she doing? Wait. I have to read this again. いらっしゃい、いらっしゃい。今日はサンマが安いよ、奥さん。サンマ。I don't know what サンマ is. 持ってけ、泥棒。So, I think she's talking, she is talking about like somebody stealing something. 持ってけ、泥棒. And she's like, what's up with this thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is she? So you can yaru. So she's obviously talking about something that I don't understand the nuance to. There's probably a certain type of job that she's thinking. This is probably, so Sanma is probably like a diamond or something. Yeah, Sanma is probably like a jewel. Then moteke dorobo. Moteke dorobo. So she's probably saying like, hey, you know, bring that back, burglar type of thing. And she's still holding her hand like that. He's like, oh, you're gonna do that? She just dropped her coffee mug. All right, let's keep moving. I only got a little bit here. Timer's barking at me. 何マヨがバイトの面接だとちゃんと事前に父さんに話すんか。でもおやつ出張出張 I think it's 出張で3日間も家開けてたし。 3日間も家開けてたし. So he's saying, sorry, it was pretty terrible, but, 親父, sorry. Did I say 親父? That's weird. でも、親父出張で3日間も家開けてたし. So, this is what he's thinking, right? So, oyaji is like a grumpy old man kind of thing. And then 出張, I don't know what 出張 means. I'll have you look that up.
I will do so.
3日間も家開けてたし. So he's talking about like 出張 is what? Work trip? Oh, that's not it. No. Like a hardy. You said 出張, right? 週バリ?
I don't think
Dead body. Yeah. No, that's not right. Dead party? That's not right. Sorry guys, we're wasting time here. But
we gotta know. We have to.
Hardy.
I don't. It's
no, shucho. You're right. Yeah. No, I didn't know if the kanji was right. Because shucho, there's a lot of shucho.
Because there's a pole in this.
Oh wait, it's the same
kanji.
exact thing. I'm confused now. It does look like it is business trip though. She was right. So okay, that makes sense. でも親父出張で3日間も家開けてたし. Yeah, that's work trip. Yeah. So he was gone on a work trip for 3 days. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. 河合マヨに料金なんて, right? 料金 is like hard labor, basically. No, sorry.
Like labor?
Do. Right? Because there's also like kuro. Do. Yes, that's right. Manual labor. So, 河合マヨに労働なんてさせてたまるか。させてたまるから。痛いどこにいたなんだ。Sorry, I'm struggling here. Trying to read this. 河合マヨに労働なんてさせてたまるか。I don't know if it's させてたまるか or させてたまるか。I think it's させてたまるか。痛いどこにいたんだ。多分今頃面接中かな。So he's like where's Mayo at? And this guy's saying like 多分今頃面接中かな. Like maybe she's in a meeting right now. Like in the interview. 面接 is interview. 可愛くてレンコンいいからこの子なら合格だな。うちのバイトを Oh jeez, I forgot. イボした動機は何ですか? Again, 動機 is the motive. I think it's like why you're interested in this. So this is like hope, right? Bo. And then this one I think is Shibo? Maybe. Yes, I was right, huh? Shibo is like ambition, desire, wish. Shibo shita doki wa, what is your, wish, desire for doing this job? Like I understood this, I just wanted to make sure that this was the nuance was correct. この店、関数 Hey, look at that again. 関数がいつもバラバラなのが気になってすみません。So her motivation for wanting to work at this job, and we're going to stop here, is that bara is not organized, like disorganized. So all of the volumes in this store are like disorganized. And so I became a little bit worried. Like I became a little bit interested in like trying to fix it basically. And he's like, "Oh, sumimasen." Like, sorry.
Man, I
She's
missed so
very
much of the story. I didn't realize she was applying for jobs already.
because she wants more books. That's why. Because she says it
So
here,
funny.
and then this one's like, "We're working at a diamond store or something." Did you look at what Sanma is? I have no idea.
Oh, Sanma? Let me look.
No, Sanma, not Sandman.
Sanma.
Oh! Sanma is a fish.
Oh, fish?
Yeah. So
Pike?
she's working at like a fish market or something. Hey, irashai, irashai. 今日はサンマが安いよ、奥さん。モテ系
Oh my
泥棒。
god.
I gotta ask Judy what this means. モテ系泥棒. But this this type of talking is definitely like probably what you'd hear in a fish market or like, you know,
I
somewhere
see.
rowdy like a izakaya or something, right? The best part of Japan in my opinion. So yeah, sorry for the terrible reading there. I was struggling a little bit.
It's all good.
It's
Man. Reading's hard.
Reading for me is a little bit easier actually when it's like a novel when it's all one sentence, you know, like kind of long sentences. When it's broken up like this, for me, my eyes don't really like go to it. But I'm making excuses. I just suck.
Oh my god.
All right. Awesome. That looks like it's the end of our podcast episode today. It went a little bit long as we expected, but that's totally fine. We got lots of fancy words we can add for the next time too. But we saw Doki again, and we saw Kansu. We saw both of these actually in that
That's kind of funny.
thing we just read. Yeah, that's why I put it down, man. That's why I put it down. All right. My onaka is getting muzu muzu.
Tashimo.
To itch, to get impatient because I want food. So, thank you guys for watching
Yeah. Ooh.
and listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Man.
Yes, welcome back, Kalo. I enjoy your presence this week for sure. It was hearing your banter and the funny things you say is adds so much to the and then you driving the whole entire thing also really helps. So I appreciate your presence and your existence.
Your presence.
Don't cease to exist, please.
Well, I'll try not to, but no promises.
No promises. Oh, jeez.
All right, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. We'll see you next week.
3、2、1。バイバイキーン